gets old, never gets old. So look, let me tell you something. I was an electrician for 55 years. I did it for 55 years of my life. I can't slow down. I know I have 4 falls, but I can't slow down. It's just in me. I can't give it up. I only retired a few years ago because I didn't want to bring COVID home to my wife. But I can't slow down. That's why I keep falling. I know I'm doing something wrong, but I can't stop. It's just, I only got one speed. I've been an electrician for 55 years. I can't slow down. Let me tell you something. I was making $150 an hour as a master electrician. I had so many jobs. You know that hospital around the corner? I laid all of the wiring in it. I did it. I grew up in Baltimore City. I grew up in a town called Hamden. You know Oprah Winfrey lived there? You know I used to do work on her house for her? Okay. Let me tell you what I built for myself. I got a house not too far from here that's worth over $1 million. I got 4 garages. Okay, sir, how many, you got a lot of cars, huh? I got 3 regular cars and 4 race cars. I got an addition on the house that I built myself, wired it myself. I built it for my wife who's disabled. I built it on the 2nd story so she can get upstairs and have her own little apartment. Oh, okay, you put an apartment on the 2nd story for your disabled wife. Okay. Yeah, I did. And I know she couldn't get up the steps. So what I did was I put a chairlift in there. So I put a chairlift so she can get upstairs to her apartment. Even though she's disabled, I would help her. I would do anything for her. I take care of my wife. Okay, sir. All right. I'm telling you, man, I can't slow down. I can't stop. But I keep falling and I can't stay home and help her. If she's disabled, I got to be able to help her. Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Okay. I'm telling you, man, I got 2 of my garages are filled with antiques. The antiques probably worth over $300,000 alone, just the antiques. Okay, sir. All right. I got a $100,000 gold bar in one of the garages, and I don't even know where it's at. All right. Okay. I'm telling you, man, I can't slow down. You see this arm? You see why it's so messed up? Because I fell on it. I fell down 19 steps. How'd you fall down 19 steps, sir? Well, I was helping my wife get off the chairlift, and I had her chair ready, and I reached over, and I missed the banister, and I fell down the 19 steps. Okay. All right. So I got to get home. I really got to be home for her. She's in this big old house. My son's staying with her right now to keep an eye on her, but I got to get home to help her. I just can't slow down. I just got one speed. When you've been doing this for 55 years, it's just in you. You don't change. It's in me. If I could, I'll be working right now. Only reason I stopped working because I didn't want to bring COVID home to my wife. So I retired back when COVID started. I had a project I was working on. We was making $150 an hour. And I had to tell all the guys, hey guys, I gotta retire. I gotta shut it down because I can't bring this home to my wife. Okay, sir. All right. So I'm telling you, I've done so much. You know that bridge a few miles from here? I helped work on the electrical work on that bridge. I did it all. I'm telling you, I did it all. I got 7 children, and all of them keep telling me not to downsize. I know y'all want me to downsize, but my children telling me not to downsize. Huh? Why are your children telling you not to downsize? You know why? Because they're all going to be millionaires when I pass away. He starts laughing. They're all going to be millionaires when I pass away, so they don't want me to get rid of the stuff. I got all these cars, these race cars and things I'm going to give them, all these antiques, so they're all waiting to be millionaires when I pass away. All right. You ever think about, moving down on the 1st floor and letting her be upstairs? No, I can't do that. I built that upstairs unit myself. I built it for her, so she's going to use it. I'm not changing anything. I'm not giving up my house. It's worth over $1 million. I'm not giving it up. I'm going to go home and live in it after I'm done here. Okay, sir, but you had a lot of falls, man. You don't think, nope, I'm not changing anything. I'm going to get strong enough and I'm going to go home. And I keep getting up here and walking around without no walker or no cane. I don't think I need one, but they keep telling me that I need one. Well, you had a lot of falls, sir, right? Wouldn't you say that, you need to work on your balance a little bit? Yeah, I know, but I just can't slow down. You can't change when you've been like this for 55 years. You can't change. Well, how old are you now, sir? I'm 80 years old, but you can't change me. You can't change me. All right, sir. Since I'm just meeting you for the first time, I would encourage you to try to listen to the therapists that have been working with you. I know. They've been telling me all the time not to get up. I'm going to fall. That I can only walk with the cane with them, and I can't get out of this bed. I can't get out of this wheelchair. I can't do anything. I can only walk with them in therapy. I need to get moving. I can't slow down. Like I said, 55 years I've been doing this. You can't just change me. I can't just stop. Okay, sir. All right. I understand where you're coming from. But we trying to keep you from falling again and ending up back in here for rehab. Because one of those falls might be your last and you might not go back home. No, I don't care. I got to get out of here. I got to get home to my wife. I got to get home to all my stuff. I need to be in my own house. I built her a nice apartment upstairs with a monster bathroom. She got so much space in that bathroom. You should see it. It's nice. The house is worth over $1 million. I know, sir. You told me that already. But we're trying to keep you safe, bro. We're trying to keep you, from having problems so you can spend more time with your wife instead of in these places. I know. And they keep telling me. They telling me the same thing you telling me. I'm sorry, sir. I know, like I said, I'm just meeting you for the first time today. I don't work here all the time, but they told me a little bit about you. I'm trying to help you. I know. Everybody's trying to help me. You can't help me. I've been doing this for 55 years. It's who I am. I can't stop. If I could, I'd be working right now. I was a master electrician. Okay. All right. What's up, y'all? What's going on? What is happening, man? Hope y'all are good today. What I just gave you is a conversation I had today. I give y'all these kind of lessons, these kind of stories. Usually if I tell you a story like this, it's probably something that I've seen thousands of times in 15 years of working with the older population. Thousands of times. I've met this guy before. This guy is nobody new to me. He's just another one. I've met this guy before. And a few videos back, I made a video about how, you can never own anything. You might have seen that video about you can never own anything. And, as you get older, you probably want to minimize things. You want to downsize as you get older. There's a reason I made that video. And there's a reason why most of the people who actually disagree with that video, guess who they are? Yep, older men. Now, I'm a man. Okay, as you can see, right? I'm a man. I understand the thinking. I understand it. I understand we got pride, we got ego. It's like literally ingrained in us. We got pride, we got ego, we got the ambition to work hard. We got the ambition to, be providers. That's literally what we're supposed to be, providers. And in that comes the accumulation of stuff. And when we get it, we think, boom, boom, it's my stuff. I bought it, I paid for it, it's mine. I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna use it how I want. But like I'm just explaining, I just gave you that conversation. That was like a real conversation I had today, and I'm just sitting listening. I'm letting him get it all out. And even one of my coworkers, we in the gym, he's telling me some of this stuff. My coworkers have heard all this before. Remember, I'm like a contractor. I come in from time to time. I have not worked with this gentleman at all. It's the first time I'm meeting him, and he's giving me the story that he's given my coworkers probably 100 times already. And he's just doubling back to it to tell the new guy, me. Tell me all about, his accolades and the things he owns, the things he's collected, and how he thinks he can still handle them, manage them. And if you notice, did you see how he compounded his problems? I don't know if you noticed during that conversation. Here's the compounding of the problems. Okay, so your wife is disabled. Your wife is disabled. I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at what he did. Your wife is disabled, which means she can't go up steps. She can't go up steps because she's disabled. Now you have this $1 million home. I am sure, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that in a $1 million home, there's probably space for your wife on the first floor to live and dwell safely. But in his, male bravado and, being an electrician and being a guy who builds a lot, he had the idea to build a small apartment unit for his wife on the second story. He said he built her apartment. I don't know how this house is set up. Built an apartment on the second story, and then had to double back and put a chairlift to get her from the first floor to the second story. Now, that's what I mean by compounding his problems, because if you kind of think that through, it would have behooved him to, if the wife needed extra space, to build an addition on the first floor. But I digress with that. But I see this so often with older men closer to the end of life. The frustration is hard. And this is why I encourage, the videos about, downsizing now, less is more, adopt minimalism now before it's forced on you. The video about you can never really own anything. This is why I made that video, because I've met thousands of versions of this gentleman. Nice guy. He's from my hometown of Baltimore City. He's from B-More. Nothing against him, but that type of thinking. And if you think about it, it's the old school version of hustle culture. Old school. He was an electrician, worked tons of overtime, took jobs everywhere, made a lot of money, made really good money, accumulated all of this stuff. You heard him. Antiques, gold bars, 3 cars, 3 race cars, built, he built 4 or 5 garages. He built them for his cars. Didn't even have cars in 2 of the garages because he had $300,000 of antiques in 1 garage. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you feel me? I've met so many versions of this guy, of this gentleman. So many versions of this gentleman. What I'm encouraging you to do is learn from these lessons, man. Learn from these lessons, because I'm learning, but I'm also sharing. Learn from these lessons. You got to remember, I always talk about this generation. It's the baby boomer generation. Baby booming. He's 80, I want to say 80, right at the 80 mark. Right at the 80 mark. He's accumulated and collected and just stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. And did you hear the thinking? The thinking behind, the whole leaving it to somebody else? He says his children, this is what he told me. His children don't necessarily want him to downsize. And he jokingly said, kind of tongue in cheek, said, they're all waiting until I die so they can become millionaires. Like he said that tongue in cheek, all the children are in different states. He said they wait until I die so they can become millionaires from all my stuff. And he laughed and I laughed, but this is his thinking. And he's like he's clutching onto it. It's like, he's holding on to this stuff. Doesn't even realize how much is a detriment to his health, safety, and well-being. But I digress, man. These are the kind of conversations I have on a regular basis. Mind you, I just met him. Old heads like to talk to you. They like to share. He started telling me all of this information, basically when I asked him literally about probably asked him what type of work did he do. That's when the 55 years as a master electrician came in. 55 years. He used to go to a high school right across from my high school in Baltimore City. I went to a school called Mervo. He went to a school called City. It's probably you can walk to each school. Both schools you can walk from my school to his school. But yeah, man, another one of those lessons. Happens all the time. He just went off. And while he was going off, we was in the gym, one of my coworkers like looked at me like here we go again. Like, we've heard this story a million times. But that's the thinking. And that's gotta be tough, man. At 80 years old, it's gotta be tough. So, again, I encourage you. You gotta understand less is more. I'm learning it from watching this generation, the baby boomers, the people that saw all of the, the introduction of everything from household appliances, like TVs. I always tell people about the baby boomers. If you look them up, man, if you were a baby boomer, to have a TV in your house back in the day, you were a special person. If you had a television set in your house. And then came the washers, the dryers, the microwaves, the dishwasher, all this stuff that's normal to us now. This generation is when it started to explode, but it's normal to us now. So I don't even need to talk about the lesson in this, right? Do I need to even say what the lesson is? You get it, right? 80 years old, chairlift for the wife to go up to the second story. $1 million home, 4 or 5 garages, race cars. He ain't racing. He ain't driving no more. Oh, man. It's a little exhausting. But I sat through it, man. I sat through it. Just met me and told me all of that stuff. This is what happens. Another thing they be wanting to do, they just be wanting to talk. They just be wanting somebody to just listen to them. I listen. I always listen. I always give them that, let them get it off their chest. Because I got a therapy session to do. I heard that whole spiel in less than 45 minutes. Because in 45 minutes, I had to do therapy with them. So I had to get something in there. I had to get some exercises, some balance training, some walking. I had to get some of that in there. But I sat and listened to it through every break, through every rest period, while we were walking down the hallway. I listened. I always listen. There's always something to learn. Whew, man. So yeah, how y'all doing, man? I hope y'all good. I was a little exhausted, but I hope y'all straight. So like I said, I don't need to mention the lessons in that story. I really don't. It's all there. It's all there. And shout out to the, the fellas who, came doing the comments on those videos disagreeing. No, I disagree. I own my stuff. I'm generational wealth. I'm passing it on. Okay. All right. I ain't gonna argue with you, son. I ain't gonna argue with you, bruh. I'm just telling you what I've learned from that type of mentality, from that type of thinking, especially when I see it towards the end. I see the end result of that type of thinking. I get to meet the end result of hustle culture. The end result, I'm not interested in that ending. So yeah, I'm gonna actually contrast this story. I'm gonna contrast this story with a video right after this one. Very stark contrast. Ooh, I'm tired. All right, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all in a little bit. Y'all be cool. Oh, I got a tip for you. Or not a tip, but just information that I didn't know. Remember, he was an electrician. So he wanted me to share something with everybody I know. So I don't know if you have fluorescent or incandescent light bulbs in your house. If you have lighting fixtures that use fluorescent bulbs, you think fluorescent, think the tube lightings, think like those tubes or the tubes that, go around. I don't know what you got. But he told me that we don't know that in 2027, all fluorescent or incandescent light bulbs will be vanished off the face of the earth. They won't produce them anymore. Only LEDs. So he said, if you got anything in your house that takes tubing lights, he said 2027 is all going to be done away with because we're going towards LED because it's less electricity. He told me this. He said to tell everybody. Man, he got me thinking about my house. I'm like, oh, do I have any tube lighting? I mean, we a few years off, but that was a good little tip. He gave me that little tip. Shout out to the master electrician that gave me that tip. All fluorescent or incandescent light bulbs are going to be done away with. There will only be LEDs. And he said Sylvania is the only manufacturer that still makes fluorescent bulbs and incandescent bulbs. But 2027, this law has passed, it's done. So, I don't know if that's any useful information for you, but I learned that today from a 55-year master electrician. All right, y'all. Respect your elders. Be good human beings. Be nice to each other, man. That's my message. I'll let you on a little bit.